Hello all. In this video, we will learn about the control systems in human body and their feedback mechanisms. A human body is an example of numerous systems, each performing a particular task. A control on each of these systems has to be mandatorily maintained to assure normal conditions for living. I can tell you that these control systems are the ones that keep our body alive. Any significant change in the extracellular fluid or the internal environment of the body can lead to adverse effects that can sometimes lead to organelle level failures, which on continuous deterioration can even end up in death. This control enables us to do any action or a task like running, breathing, smiling, sleeping, etc. To biologically emphasize, the control system over metabolism, psychology, physiology are all interrelated. Now we must understand that these control or balance is needed by all the systems of a human body. To list a few, they are necessary for maintaining. We must understand that control or balance is needed by all the systems of the human body. Thus, body needs a balance. Now, we must understand that control or balance is needed by all the systems of the human body. To list a few, they are necessary for maintaining blood pH, urine pH, oxygen carbon dioxide balance, hormonal balance, metabolic balance, mass index balance, temperature balance, pressure balance, and so on. Hence, control systems are provided in our body. The control systems are generally a system that works under constrained conditions with regulated responses. It tries to bring the values back to the desired range. And the most important thing is it involves feedback concepts. Now let us take an example. If the body temperature of a man goes below the normal temperature, this can lead him to death. Now the internal or the external conditions should be altered to bring back his body temperature to a desired range that can bring him out of danger. The mechanism that helps the body or the brain to understand that the parameter has gone below or above the normal range and provides a regulatory action to bring the parameter value back to control is called as control mechanism. The information that is sent back to the system to maintain values in the desirable range is known as the feedback. A detailed example is in the case of a hypothermia patient. Hypothermia is a medical emergency in which your body loses heat faster than it can produce it, causing a dangerous drop in the core body temperature. Without rapid and decisive treatment, the heart, lungs, and the other organs can begin to shut down, leading to organ failure and death. The primary aim is to remove the victim from the cold and to rewarm his or her body safely until emergency services arrive. Here, the body mechanism tries to bring back the system to normal temperature. To biologically explain this, let us discuss upon this. Assume a person who is shivering initially. To increase his body temperature, his signals would tell his brain to increase the temperature. As soon as the temperature increases beyond the normal, the person will automatically start to sweat. Now the body has to alter its temperature to bring back to the normal temperature. Now the body temperature decreases. And when the body temperature decreases beyond the normal range, the person again would start shivering. And again this loop will go on be working on. So this is an example of feedback mechanism. As studied in the previous chapters, you know the mechanisms of feedback falls into two categories. Now let us try to understand them. Here let us consider how brain reacts to the temperature mechanism of the body. Initially, the body temperature is at 37 degrees Celsius. The blood temperature rises and the hypothalamus starts its cooling mechanism. Now, the brain informs the system to slow down the temperature and thus the blood temperature lowers. As soon as the body temperature reaches the normal, and again the hypothalamus starts the warming mechanism. And now the negative feedback works and the temperature is brought back to the normal. This is an example of negative feedback in human body. Now let us consider an example for positive feedback in human body. Let us consider the example of a fetus in the mother's womb. As soon as the baby attains its full growth, it will start trying to push itself outside the mother's womb. The head of the baby pushes against the cervix of the mother. The nerve impulses from the cervix gets transmitted to the brain of the mother. Now the brain stimulates pituitary gland to secrete oxytocin. Oxytocin is carried in the bloodstream to the uterus of the mother. Oxytocin is the hormone which stimulates the uterine contractions and pushes the baby towards the cervix, and thus a baby is delivered. This is an ideal example of positive feedback in human body. I hope you understood the control systems in human body and their feedback mechanisms. Thank you.